Hey guys, long time no see. How's quarantine treating everybody? Guys playing a lot of video games? So I'm wearing some Bob Ross today since we're doing art for the first time in like a month. So I thought it might be a good idea to bring a little extra art in here with me. So I've got a lot of questions about exactly what we're doing for week 1 and week 2. We're working with Collage, but it is a little bit confusing. I want to say most of you have only ever done Collage where it's like an inspirational type of thing where you take pictures and words and you make sort of a dream board of different concepts. Not really what we're doing here. We're doing an artistic collage as opposed to sort of an idea collage. So with an artistic collage, we're really making a picture out of pieces of paper as opposed to taking full words or full letters or full photos of people and posting them down. We're going to make a picture of a person, place, or thing with paper. So we'll get a little more into that in a second. First, I want to take you guys into the modules over here and show you what you should be looking at. So I'm in the student view right now. So I want you guys to go to modules, and this is how we're going to find all of the information for us. So the introduction and how to, I want to say you guys all know how to do that. So if you need it, it's there. If not, don't even worry. So we're going to look at week 1 first, okay? So this is how we're going to do this. Hit Collage Project Summary. Now, this is going to give you a lot of the information you need for this project. So you're going to create an original artwork that incorporates collage as the basis of the work. So the basis, what they mean is it's made up of primarily that. So once you make a collage, you can draw on top of it as well, but the majority of it or most of it has to be in a collage. So you can use a variety of materials. Magazines work really well because they're usually in full color and have lots of different colors in them. Newspapers don't usually have as much color, and the color they have isn't usually as vivid or bright. So I personally would suggest using a magazine or something like that. You can also use tissue paper, construction paper. Anything that you can tear into smaller pieces should work. The subject is your choice. So I've gotten a question of what the subject means. I don't mean something like math or history. What I mean is what you want it to be about. So in the case of what we see on the screen, the subject would be a girl. That's our subject. If I made it out of my cat who's asleep on my chair right now, it would be my subject as my cat. So it could be a car, it could be a place, it could be a person, it could be a couple of people, whatever you need it to be. It has to be from a realistic source. So you guys know I usually don't have any problem with you guys doing cartoons or anime stuff. That will not work for this project. And I apologize for that. I know a lot of you guys really like that. But we do want to keep it something that is from a realistic source because we're going to be working from observation a little bit. That doesn't mean you can't take a picture of something and use that, because that photo is a realistic source. So don't think you can't work from a photo of someone or of a place or a thing. That's totally okay. You don't have to be looking at it in person in order to do this. So let's go over here. Okay, we're gonna have a refresher of the elements on this page, and we're gonna have a refresher of the principles on this page. They are missing proportion. Don't worry about it, totally okay. The more important part is this, okay? This is gonna be step-by-step directions. Please read these. District did a really, really good job writing all of this down. I find it very easy to follow. Here are some really good examples. So we have the face. We also have an apple. We also have this incredibly cool car, which I just think is so fascinating to look at. Looks like it's melting, which is cool. We've got a dog, and we have sort of this sunset, kind of looks like it's out in like Nevada or Arizona or something. So it can be person, place, thing. It is completely up to you, really. But keep in mind, it doesn't have to look realistic. The car looks pretty realistic. I would say that the sunset looks great, looks very realistic. But things like the apple, they don't have to look realistic in order for it to be obviously an apple. You can get creative with how you do this, even if it's not perfect. Okay, sometimes a little creativity, a little extra color is a good thing. All right, and the number one question I've gotten is, how do I submit? So when you do your sketch in planning, which please tell me you remember how to do this, because we've done this a billion times in class. We're just doing it a little bit different. This is sort of like the Cornell notes of sketching. So we all know that we have to sketch and plan every time we do a piece of artwork. I know you guys hate it, but please trust me when I say that it's the single most important thing you're going to do if you go into art. And actually, you do this when you write papers too. Instead of sketching it, you're writing it outward when you do a first draft or an outline. It's the exact same thing. We're just doing that for art. So don't say, oh, I'll never use this outside of art. You're already doing it. You're just doing a little bit different. So what you're going to do is it says submit assignment up here. That's kind of our most important piece. You need to submit it through here. So first I'm going to show you what this looks like. So they have it separated into sketching, is draw a thumbnail sketch or just a small version, quick sketch, gesture drawing, if you will, right here, just so you have an idea of what you're working with, and then you're going to be answering these questions. So I'll show you what I have on mine shortly, but first I just want to get back to where we were, okay? Once you have that, you don't have to have it on the computer. Not everybody has a Wacom tablet where you can easily draw. I did mine on a piece of paper. That's okay. Take a picture on your phone, send it to me, totally fine. Once you hit submit assignment, you'll go down here, hit choose file, click it like you normally would to attach a paper, anything like that, hit that, and then hit submit assignment. That's fine. You don't need to do anything else. It's very, very simple. I think we've all been sort of overthinking it because this whole thing's new to us, but it really is just sort of that easy. If you need to type any comments or answer the questions that are on the side in comments, feel free. As long as I'm able to read it, you're good to go. So let me stop doing that. All right, so I'm going to show you what I have. So like I said, I'm doing mine this way. Might be backwards for you guys, I don't know. But I decided to do Joe Exotic because I've watched a whole lot of Netflix. So I've got my sketch over here, just a quick sketch, not a ton of detail. And then I have all of my planning questions. So my planning questions are things like, what subject did you use? So I chose Joe Exotic, so that's what I put. And then why did I select it? Because he's the Tiger King. We've got, what was your inspiration or your reference? So for you guys, you might say that you're doing a picture of family, and you could say, well, the inspiration I have is a photo that was taken in a family reunion, and I really enjoy it. There you go. That's totally enough. If you say, I just really like this actor, that's fine. Or I just think it's pretty. Those are all good answers. There is no right answer. Whatever you're using it for and whatever you're using it from, a photo, a movie, anything, they're all okay. It's just helping you think about why you're doing it. And then for your media, we're going to be using Collage. If you guys remember, media or medium is just what you're using to make your art. So if you were drawing and you're using a pencil, your medium is pencil. If you're drawing and using a pen, you're using a pen for your medium, etc. We're using paper, or you can just say collage. Either one works. The last part is we're going to be doing what elements and principles you're using. That's just so you can think about exactly what you're making. It's not just I'm making a person. We want to break it down. We've been doing that all year. I think you guys are going to be fine. So if you do need extra help, please reach out to me. I can help you kind of think about that. The major one I want you to think about is, what do you expect your biggest challenge to be and how do you plan to work through it? For me, I'm doing a person who's photorealistic. The hardest part for me is just going to be making a face that looks real. Finding skin tone can be really tough, and making hair that at least looks a little bit like hair, it's going to be tough. And I know that. So, how am I going to plan to work through it? For me, I'm going to be concentrating on organizing my colors and focusing on making good gradient or value changes. But that's me. You might have a completely different challenge, and I can't tell you what your challenge is going to be, but I can help you work through those. So once you know what your big issue is going to be, if you run into that and it turns out to be too big an issue, please reach out and I will help you absolutely through that, okay? So I'm going to show you a little bit of how to do a collage. So again, planning and sketching is all you have to do for week 1, but I want to get through this as well for week 2, so you can start planning on what you're doing. So any kind of magazine, I grabbed this. It had a lot of color in it, so it's going to work really well, hopefully, for Mr. Exotic. And all you're going to do is you're going to start picking out colors you think you're going to need. So Joe has really terrible, terrible hair, so that's basically what that looks like. So I'm going to use a lot of that for his hair. Now, there's no one way to do this, so I've got kind of different options here for you to look at. You can do this where you take individual tiny little pieces and you basically draw with them by lining them up. So if I needed a circle, I would take all of these little pieces and I would line them up so that they become a circle. You can easily do that and then fill it in with other colors and overlap them. You can do it that way. You don't have to. You can actually, especially if you're making a face, take larger pieces, such as an eye, and use that as an eye. There's nothing here saying that you can't do that. You can see it in the collage, in the directions, in the, I think it was the description part where we had the face. They used 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. You can do that. You can just take pieces. You can take 5 different noses and Frankenstein them together to make the perfect nose. That's okay. You don't have to use super tiny pieces. You can use larger pieces. You can overlap them. You can line all of them up side to side and have nothing overlap, so it looks a little more like a tile mosaic. Whatever works for you. Now, the thing that I would suggest that works really, really well for me is to organize your colors. If you organize them, it's going to be a lot easier, so you're not constantly tearing individual tiny pieces every time you need to put them on your paper. It's much easier, at least in my opinion, to have everything laid out ahead of time. So these are all of my light yellows. That's a larger, more true yellow, a little bit darker, and there's my darkest hair color. Brighter colors are going to go down here in kind of light pinkish purple, darker purple, light blue, dark blue, green. That's what I'm planning to do. I can also put blacks and whites and grays over on another side. Again, that works for me. It helps me keep organized, helps me plan. If it doesn't work for you, do whatever does work for you. So when you're making things, you're going to take your piece of paper. And for me, I've already sketched out my, here we go, Joe Exotic face. This helps me plan where I need to put different things. Doesn't mean it's going to look exactly like this. It just means that I have a plan. It's like sketching a second time, because what I'm going to do, try to do it this way. Yeah, you can kind of see them. So what I would do is I would take my pieces of paper and I would start lining them up just like this. I would glue each one down as necessary. But what I end up with is, hopefully you guys can see that a little bit, I start having my hair, okay? So as I go through this, I'm going to continuously add more and more and more and glue each individual piece down onto my paper. If you want to plan it a little bit and move them around before you commit to it, that's fine. I do that a lot. I actually will wait to glue them until I find the exact right spot, then I glue. When you submit this, you're going to do the same thing that you did for the planning and sketching. So when you do plan and sketch, take a picture or scan it if you have a scanner at home, upload it the same way, okay? You can do that with this. Take a photo of it, scan it in. I don't want you using the computer for it. I don't think that helps. It's almost a little too easy to cheat on that. For this, magazines, anything like that, take them, tear them, place them, photograph, okay? I know most of you have, at the very least, a cell phone that has a camera. If you don't, your laptops or tablets should be able to take pretty good photos. My suggestion would be to, let me get something that stands up a little better. Whatever you're using, say this was my collage, put it upright up against a wall or something like that and take a picture that way. If you take a picture standing above it, you're gonna get your shadow on it and it's gonna make it harder for me to see. And it might distort it a little bit by putting shadows where they shouldn't be. So try to stand it up somewhere, take your picture, upload it, and I'll give you your grade. Any questions that you have, please feel free to email me anytime or post something on the Canvas. If you just want feedback and say, hey, how am I doing? Do you think this looks good? I'm happy to do that too. I'm around regular school hours, okay? And if I happen to be online after that checking emails, I will respond to you any time of day or night. If you email me really early in the morning or really late at night, if I'm on, I'll still email you back. If I don't, I'm just sleeping. So it's not a big deal. You will not disturb me, so email me anytime. Really, there's no question that's too stupid, okay? I promise. All of your questions have been really good so far. I haven't had a single question that wasn't. So if you felt silly asking a question, trust me, I don't judge it at all. This is new to everybody, and everyone's really frustrated and confused and maybe a little nervous about how it's going to work. Don't worry about it. We're all in the same boat, teachers and students and admin, okay? So good luck. Again, need anything, please let me know. I will be around. I'm gonna try to do something every Wednesday, maybe at like 1:30, I think is what people voted for, and just have a Zoom meeting open. Don't share the Zoom meeting once I put the passcode up. Just pop in if you have any questions or if you want to show me your work, okay? D&D is still going to be running, hopefully, at the same time, Monday 2 to 4 and Thursday 2 to 4, depending on what group you're in. So please leave a message somewhere on the Canvas or email me if you still want to be doing that. So hopefully this has been helpful. If not, I will definitely make something else to help you guys out. But hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, and that you're doing okay with classes. So that's it for right now. Again, hopefully that was helpful. My first time recording anything on Zoom. So let's hope it uploads. All right, bye guys.